There it is.
I mean, I was like,
That was awesome. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good
What are you
morning.
doing?
Well, I'm not at home, as you can tell. I don't have my normal background today. So I'm traveling to a wedding this weekend for a mutual friend of ours, Josh Wallace. He's getting married.
Josh, Mr. Josh.
Yeah, so he's getting married this evening. So I'm traveling with Laura, my friend, and we are so I'm in the hotel. Hopefully Wi-Fi
Very
doesn't
nice.
go out.
Very nice. You made it. And so I'm assuming you had to set up like a customized
Oh, of course.
situation.
You told me your advice, which I'll think about that. Yeah, I have my luggage, and then I have the light behind me so that it makes sure it's the lamp and it's the whole thing.
That's too much fun. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you made it over there safe. You got a big wedding to go to, and then you're flying back to San Antonio. You're hanging out with a fellow troublemaker, Laura. Like you're having all the fun over there. No, that's good. It's a good time. Congratulations to Josh and his wife. Like that's a big deal. But today,
yes, this morning,
I think the question we're picking apart is, what are you not saying yes to?
And
that feels like a pretty big question, Jen.
It is, but it's I think last time we got on, we talked through what path are we letting other people dictate and things like that. So we kind of talked a little bit about this. Now we're like, what's on the outside that you're allowing to navigate you? And then now we're like, okay, now stand up in front of that mirror and we're going to ask you some hard questions. How much of that are you contributing to? So it's like really hone in, and we're going to ask some questions today that may seem a little simple and may seem a little surface, but they are very much like, ask yourself this question, and then hopefully you'll add in the comments what your response is to it, because we feel like there's a lot of things that we do subconsciously or just because we were trained that way that are completely dictating like that next step or what's in front of us or what we've allowed to happen.
Yeah, no, for me, it's an observation on so many of the things that kept me stuck.
Yes.
Right. Or that limited my reach in terms of impact and growing and all of the things, because I had these things in my head that for some reason they were immovable, but they absolutely, like, you can move them. Guess what? Like, and the sky didn't fall down. Like it was like, oh, okay. So I just had to recalibrate my thinking.
Yes.
And I recognize a bunch of, all the ballers out there in the world. We already got an early riser. Miss Haiti, what's up, sister?
Wait, how have we not had breakfast or lunch and you are in North Dallas? Like, how is that even we need to schedule something soon.
I agree. Right now, just warning the authorities, my next trip to DFW is August, so
okay,
we gotta meet up. I gotta meet up with Miss Haiti.
Well, I'm gonna grab her before you, hopefully, because you always seem to beat me, and I'm just like, how is this even possible?
I like it. Okay, so people are jumping in the comments. So before we jump into the big question of like, what are you not saying yes to and why that's important, let's do the housekeeping, Jen.
Okay.
Let's set them straight, please.
Okay. Sounds good. So good morning to all of you out there that are jumping on, that are listening, and that maybe this is the first time you've seen us, or you're coming back, or you're just chilling and you're like, I'm just going to see what happens here. My ask of you is that if it's your first time listening to us, or you've been gone a while and you're coming back, put a blue heart in the comments just because it lets us know that you're new, because we want to give you some love, but also our people want to be able to connect with you and connect and engage with your content. And so please let us know that by putting a blue heart. And also anytime anybody puts any comment, it doesn't matter if it's an emoji, it doesn't matter if it's a hi, it doesn't matter. Anybody that gets puts a comment in there today during the live stream for the next hour, you will get added to the randomizer at the end. So we do kind of a random drawing. And Jesse, what do they get if they get picked?
Oh, if your name gets selected in the randomizer, you will get 1 month access to a super awesome group of people that are working on the type of leadership skills everybody dances around, like real. So this is kind of one part commitment to 2 parts threat in that if you win, you get to come to the thing, but the thing don't think you're going to be comfortable. We're going to challenge some of your comfort zones out there, and for the purpose of helping us all grow to be better leaders. So anyways, drop your comments in there, and look, we already got a blue heart.
Who is it?
I don't know. I got to look up my phone. They got security set up that on the StreamYard end, we can't see their name, but on the feed, I'll find out here shortly. But we got a blue heart. So you see the blue heart, go out there, swarm the person. We also got a frequent flyer, Mr. Adam Hoots. He says, "What's up, my peeps?" Sending love this morning. We also got Naman Ashraf coming in from YouTube land. He says, "What's up, guys? What's up? Thanks for being here." Oh man, we got a bunch of people coming in from YouTube. Haiti says, "How is it possible that I listen to you to every Saturday?" Yeah, for real.
I know. Like, what the heck?
She's gonna be at Build Fort Worth. I guess that's a conference or something with a booth on August 6th. All right, so there you go, folks. Oh man, we got more. We got Seth says hi. Okie dokie. So we're gonna have some fun today. Let's throw up the first question. And what do you say?
Sounds like a plan.
Question number 1 is, who wrote the rules? So what does that mean? Like, what do you think of, Jen, when you hear that question?
I think I think a lot of people, it comes in and we come into situations and it's like, this is the path, or this is the area that I have that I can work within. This is the, whether it's the career path, this is the way I have to go, or these are the things I have to do to be able to accomplish this. And I think there's a lot of people, and we call it status quo, I guess, in my world, of just, this is the things I need to do to advance to the next spot and to the next spot and to the next spot. Like, that is the way that we navigate. And if something stops us, okay, well, something stopped us. I can't go that way. I've got to go this way. And so we almost react to the path, or that what's in front of us or what's around us. If we walk in a room and it's like, hey, you don't really know if you can talk, or you don't really know if it's your place, you kind of just, you sit in that spot, but until someone gives you permission. I think that's the way I look at it. And there's a lot of times that we are limited into what our opportunities could be because we are waiting for permission. Like, I'm not sure, like that's the rule, and I've got to work within it. And if you don't listen to us very much, like, that is not the way that most of us show up now. There was a place where I'm like, okay, this is what's been laid out in front of me, until that moment when I realized, like, what I want doesn't even exist. So, like, how do these rules apply to that? And so I think that is a lot of what we're going to talk about today.
I agree 100%. I love Adam's answer. Adam says, well, they did, right?
Of course.
The infamous they.
Yeah.
I love that, because that's the thing. Like, that was the awakening, or the shift that happened to me. It's like, I'll say it a different way. There was a period of time where I was figuring out how to be nicer, because I'm pretty abrasive, pretty direct, and I used to be way less tactful back in the day. And I was trying to, like, soften that up. I think I was talking to one of my therapists or something, and I kept saying, like, well, they always say that I'm mean. They say that I'm rude. They. And she asked, like, well, who is they? And I said, huh? And she's like, yeah, like, What are the names of the people? Who are the specific people?
Mhm.
And she wasn't being sarcastic. She was like, if we can identify who those people are, maybe you can go back and get some more direct feedback. And in my head, when I was saying it, it was everybody. But when I really started looking to answer the question of who is they, it turned out to be my brother and my mom, nobody else, right? And then when I really examined it, they never said those words.
Mhm.
It was my interpretation of how they were reacting to me. So I was like, whoa, oh, it's not okay. It's not as big as I thought it was. And then it may not even be a thing. Anyways, point being, the they, right? The infamous they, if maybe that's an underlying nugget here for everybody to think about. If we get in these situations, we make decisions because of them. First step number one, who is they?
Identify them. Yes.
Identify them, write their, like for real, like write their names down, because you might discover that you're overly generalizing, which plays into you know, shrinking yourself. It's frustrating and all those other things. You know, the idea of who wrote the rules. I have a friend of mine that I've known since elementary school, and he was skinnier than me. Not that I'm skinny now, but back then, you know, we were little guys. And anyways, we all went to middle school, high school together, graduated. He went off to join the Marines. He had a good career over there. And I remember when he came back, like years later after we reconnected, and he was a different dude. We were very, like, I was always crazy, kind of rebellious. He wasn't. Like, he was a nice guy. He followed the rules, you know, he's a good guy. But when we came back, he was assertive, aggressive, like outspoken. I'm like, what the, like, where did this come from? It's awesome, right? He's my friend. I want to see that. And I remember he told me, he's like, Jess, the Marine Corps. I'm like, okay, but like, how, like, did you go to classes? Like, how did this happen? And he says, well, there was one night, some group of guys that were always picking on him, always, like, just always making his life miserable. He said, I lost it one night and I beat the hell out of one of the guys. And now I was, you know, like, I'm not advocating that you go and beat people up, y'all.
Right.
But he said he went and beat that person up, the leader of the ring or whatever, and he was expecting to get kicked out, right, for beating up his friend or, you know, whatever. And he didn't. They came in and they're like, okay, good, it's handled. He said, and my mind blew. Like, I'm like, I broke the rules. I went and violated somebody else's personal space, and I didn't go to jail, right? And I didn't get kicked out, and I didn't. And he said, he's like, well, why am I following all these other stupid rules? And I said, yeah, which is kind of my thinking, that I think I have an advantage in that. Even when I was little, I was always challenging the rules, but there were still a lot of rules that that kind of governed my life. So anyways, that's my quick kind of random story, but
it resonates and where I can relate, but also where it took me a while to figure that out is I feel like I always challenged them in my head. So I feel like growing up, even though, like, again, I was probably a rule follower for a long time, living within these boundaries, I was still challenging everything in my head and still even making kind of micro decisions and doing things in my mind that this will get me here faster. But it was never something, you know, very big and glaring to where someone goes, oh, what does she do? Like, I was doing them and navigating within that space for a very long time. So it still helped me, and it still helped me, you know, kind of grow and learn and things like that. And as soon as some of that started coming out of my mouth, throughout my career, I would say, it was funny, we were talking about this last night at dinner, two very significant things that happened as I was growing and as I was learning, and both ended up in me in tears and hysterical and like, I don't even know, okay, how do I deal with this? But it was two different people in different parts of my career challenging me as I was navigating. Who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are that you can do these things, or that you can live in this space, or you can create these things? And again, when you have someone challenging you like that, like, it's a moment where you have to make a decision. And both of them ended, again, me getting off the phone, upset, because I'm just like, someone just attacked me, I felt. But then it's like what I did next. And both times they were significant times in my career where it's like, okay, then this is what I need to do. And I could have stayed small. I could have stayed in those spaces of, well, crap, who am I? Who am I to challenge something? Who am I to go, this is wrong? Or I don't agree, or you're not doing it right. This needs to change. And both of them were significant, so significant in my career growth. And so I just, when you were talking about that, I was like, oh, I remember those like very vivid conversations, and it was what I did next.
Yes. And folks, if you're in case, like, let me clarify. The point of this conversation is to help you introspect, like look inside and really evaluate what are the rules that you're playing by that are keeping you small, that are like, sure, there's other people and expectations, end of the day, like Adam said, but you're deciding and you're not 10 years old anymore. Mm-hmm. You can decide to challenge whatever that rule set is. So here's the question that I'm looking for answers. We got some good comments. I'm going to hit the comments. And then I got a little story where for me, it was like a nuclear explosion when it happened for me. And so I'll go over that here in a bit. But first we got Harry Prasadaro Koluri coming in from LinkedIn. What's going on? I discovered who the LinkedIn user was. It's our friend Eddie Esquivel from DFW. What's up, Eddie?
Hello, Eddie. Good morning.
Do a little bit of research, and then we got Clyde King. What's up, Clyde? Good morning, my crazy people. We got Mr. Jen, I didn't tell you.
What?
Oh, I love that. Magnanimity in action. So Milo is now a member of the Construction Leadership Lab. Milo, so excited. Because I earned the Bring a Friend pass and I gave it to Milo. I'm like, I got to get Milo in here. And then, of course, we got Adam cheating. Not cheating. He's writing his own rules. It says, Buenos dias, coming in from LinkedIn to challenge the randomizer rules. I love it. So question to all you awesome people out there in the Omniverse. Maybe it's a rule that you've already overcome and you've decided, like, I'm not going to use that rule anymore. I want to know, like, who wrote the rules that you're playing by? Like, maybe we'll go a little bit extreme. Are you playing this game of life entirely by your own rules? My money says not possible. So, okay, if we know that we're by some way, form, or effect, we're playing by somebody else's rules to some degree. Whose rules are they? Who wrote those rules? That's the question. Think about it. I'm not advocating total anarchy. This isn't a question about awareness. Now, for me, Jen, it happened. I was in 7th grade, and it was when the evolution of Jesus to Jesse happened, right? Because for some of you guys, y'all don't know my real name's Jesus. That's the name my mama gave me. But it was in 7th grade where I said, I'm not going to be Jesus anymore. I'm going to be Jesse. And a friend of mine passed away who I still have a special place in my heart for her. I had a massive, massive crush on her. And we were in 7th grade. Like, your friends aren't supposed to die, right? Well, anyway, she died. And it hurt bad. And I remember thinking, here I am playing by all the rules, right? And this happened when my parents got divorced. I was in elementary school, and I'm like, I thought it was my fault, right? We internalize kids. That's the problem, is we blame ourselves for like the crazy shit that's happening. And I remember when my parents were getting divorced, I'm like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to get straight A's. I'm not going to get in trouble in school anymore. Like, I'm going to behave. Please let them stay together. And they didn't. I didn't understand like that was a separate thing. Fast forward a few years, I'm in middle school, my friend dies, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I've been playing by the rules, being on honor roll and doing, like, you know, all the stuff that my parents in school and, you know, those external expectations, which meant I didn't have as much fun, which meant I had to, like, you know, conform and behave and raise my hand and all the bullshit. And I'm still hurting. And I see, you know what? I'm not going to be I'm going to be Jesse. Jesse is going to have fun. Jesse's going to do what he wants to do, because it doesn't matter. Like, either way, I'm still having this major, major pain of loss and abandonment or whatever it was. And like, I totally changed. I ended up getting kicked out of the school. Like, I became I went way off the rails. But in my head, and this might be a little childish, but hopefully it'll resonate with some people. I was doing all the right things, right? I was being polite. I was doing what my mom told me, and I was listening to the teachers. And, you know, even though some of the rules were stupid, I was doing all the things, and it didn't produce the outcome I wanted. So I said, piss on that. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I started doing that. And yeah, it caused, now here's the thing, like, important to know. Did it cause additional friction in my life? Absolutely. Did I lose some points in some circles? Absolutely. But the main takeaway, even though I didn't do it so well, was I had a better experience as an individual without violating other people. I just ignored some of the rules that everybody was, like, imposing upon me. And I think, like, that was the early exposure to really being able to see, like, oh, I don't play by these rules, and I'm still happy with what I'm happier about the life I'm experiencing. And oh yeah, of course I'm going to have some consequences. There's consequences tied to that, but I can live with them. Like, the option is, if I don't want these negative consequences, I need to follow the rules. But if I do, then my experience is going to be less than what I want it to be. So it's like, oh, it's a decision. I get to pick my consequence, or, like, I get to operate the way I want to operate and evaluate, am I willing, like, can I live with these consequences? The answer back then was yes. And so that little framework or examination has, like, grown and evolved in all the way to now, 40 years later, whatever it is. What do you think about that, Jennifer?
The way that translates to me and what you said and how I can completely relate to that is, Jesse, there was a moment where you took control, and yes, no matter what happens after, like, you had impact, and you helped dictate what was going to happen next. And I feel like that's, to me, how it relates, because a lot of times I don't have any control. I can't, like, I'm just going to have to keep on doing what they said I need to do. I'm going to have to keep checking these boxes. I'm going to have to keep doing this if I want to grow, if I want to get promoted, if I want to make more money, if I want to do these things, I'm going to have to do these things because that's what they said. And I think that moment where you're just like, yes, and I'm going to take control and I'm going to make different decisions, and whatever happens, that's on me.
Yes.
And like, it's scary because you don't know. A lot of times it's the unknown, because I'm doing something different. I don't know what the outcome's going to be. The rules are set in place to where it is a very dictated outcome. It is a very dictated outcome. And if you live in that safe space of unpredictability scares you, then you're going to keep taking those steps because I know what's next. Yeah. And there are other people that, like, the unknown is like possibilities and opportunities and things that, yes, it could go terribly wrong and it could fail and it could be something that will set you back. And then you have to figure it out again. And that's a dance. And are you willing to get on the dance floor?
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. The rules that I've been playing by prior to that were written by somebody else for their own benefit, right? Like, simply, you ever play a board game? Those rules are written by somebody else. And just like you said, to produce a particular outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was not there in their brain when they were writing the rules, right? It was for them. Be polite, be nice, all these things, right? Follow the rules, don't make a mess, respect authority, like all these things that I was brought up by. Was sure there was some benefit for me, but really it was so my mom didn't get called to the principal's office, right? I mean, maybe I'm minimizing a little bit here, but like for real. And so fast forward to now, take that lesson to now as an adult. It's like somebody else wrote the rules that we're all playing by. And then we get frustrated, especially in the professional space of like, well, they're not nurturing me. They're not investing in me. They're not giving me like all of these things is like, number one, it's not your business. It's their business. They wrote the rules to benefit them. You decided to play them.
Yes, it's their business. Like, just stop and just at that point, it is their business. They get to write the rules.
Yep. And you can make a beautiful living, build a life, raise a family, playing by those rules. But like you said, you're gonna like that law. That path is defined. Follow the rules, and you'll get that outcome. Violate the rules, you don't know what you're going to get. Now the issue, so it's not a big deal if you're fine and you're content and everything's good. Just keep doing it. Like, don't go start breaking rules just because you watch a stupid live stream. But if you're irritated, frustrated, discontent with your life, you're playing by, it's because you're running a script, right? For somebody else's life that's not serving you. And you have to make a courageous decision to play by your own rules and accept the consequences of doing so. So we got Eddie here saying, yup, checking boxes for someone else. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're doing it, I'm like, do it. I'm not. I'm checking my boxes. Now, if you're irritated or frustrated, then maybe start thinking about what rule set would be optimal for you. We got Miss Haiti says, where I come from, they say, el que escribe la regla, escribe la trampa. Whoever writes the rules also writes the tricky, fishy things. Yes. See, Haiti knows, right? Whoever's right, like there's something behind that is not in your interest necessarily, like you as an individual. And so we've got to come up and start. You don't have to. My recommendation is if you want to have like design, like if you want to live your life by design, you're going to have to rewrite the rules.
Because if you want the optimal experience for you, I hate to say it, you have to be the one to write the rules for you. Like, Jesse, you can't write the rules for me and they be optimal for me. There's going to be, even if you're doing it for me, there's still something in you that it's going to be like, this is how it's going to benefit me. This is what I see. These are the things that I think will help. Like, it's still you writing them. Like, if you want the optimal experience, and we're not saying, again, you don't have to all be Jesse and just quit your job and go and start a new company, but like you can still work where you are and start going, here's what I need. Here's what's great for me. Here's what's going to help me in this, whatever this path is, or this is what I want to do, or I want to try this. Like, what are you doing that is then going to put you in those positions? It could be a little crazy and janky and all the things, but what are you doing that is stepping outside of that very dictated path?
Yes. Oh, I'm glad you talk about my crazy decision to start my little business over here. So the next question is, where are you playing small? Mm-hmm. Now, Jen, like you and I, we very intimate. We know a lot about each other, the inner workings of our minds.
Yes.
Now, from the outside, I'm sure a bunch of people are like, those two freaks up there on the screen never played small. Yeah, have you ever played small, Jen?
For a very long time, and I mean, again, I am 6 foot, so it's like, well, let's be real here. On when we talk about playing small, is like where, like and you know this because there was a long time to where, for me, what playing small is I defined my value by how it contributed to someone else. And I'm not to say like we need to know, like, because customer value and all the things that you and I swim in, and we've got to know what the customer value is and how can I help, like all of that. So I'm not negating that it's important to know how you can contribute to other people's value, but I'm talking about your own personal value and what you're able to do and what you're able to contribute to and how you're able to impact, and you and I to the impact and influence the bigger industry than just this is why I get paid. And I think that's the point I want to make, is for the longest time, well, Jesse, this is what pays my bills. That's how I defined my value. And once it became, yes, I'm doing these things and I'm doing them well, but also I could do these other things, that then it's me going, this is my purpose. This is my passion. This is how I can help a bigger industry and help people see and open their eyes and connect and do things bigger. Like that wasn't anything on my job responsibility list. Like it was when I started seeing my bigger purpose, but also things that I was not choosing to do. Like I could see it, I could feel it. We talked about it, but was I intentionally going out and making the effort? That could be a little scary. That could be a failure. That could be hey, you're not supposed to do that kind of stuff. As soon as I started making those intentional choices, everything else just grew and blew up, and things that I never even could have been. Here's my path. In 5 years, this is what I'm going to do. In 3 years, next year, I'm going to, like, none of that was laid out in front of me. And it's way bigger than even probably 4 or 5 years ago when you and I started talking about it, what it is now.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I want to pick on you a little bit more.
Do it, please.
Was doing the live streams, right? We started off with the 5S love letters. Was that something that forced you to really, really challenge your comfort zone? And did you have concerns about, what if the company gets mad? What if the company don't like this?
There's 1,000 things right now that I can hit on. So I'm gonna list them, and then I'm gonna try to talk through them. So number one, it was terrifying, because we don't do like, there's a lot of podcasts and stuff out there, and if you're not aware, like Jesse and I do everything live. So there is nothing recorded and cut and scripted, and let's go back and make sure, oh, that was Jesse said a cuss word, so we've got to like cut that out. Like, we're doing this live, and then as soon as we wrap, it's live for anyone to go and watch and see. Like, so that in itself is scary, because there's no controlling this one over here. And so that it was like, what's he going to say? What's he going to do? So there's that part. Then it's you had been doing it for a while. This was the first time where I'm on screen talking, like, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? What's the topic? What are the questions? What can I say? What are you going to say? How are we going to hand off? What's the transition? All of those things were all in my head to be able to get on the screen so that we didn't look stupid, and that people would like go, oh, they know what they're talking about. So there's that. The other part is I work for a very big corporate company, and again, they've done great in my career. They've supported me. I'm in a role that, again, helps our people and helps our industry, all the support. But I'm also getting on the screen with this knucklehead over here. Like, are they going to go, what's wrong with you? Like he just all the things were in my head, and Jesse got to hear all the concerns. And it still said yes, because I'm like, okay, let's see what it can do. So we started with the love letters, because we were just going to do it for like 3 months. We were going to get on, do 5 or 6 live streams and talk about a subject that he had some really cool content, and it was like really cool for us to get on the screen and do it. And then it became people jumping in, people contributing, and them like needing more. And we didn't have a plan. We didn't have anything other than just, we're going to do these 5 or 6 live streams, and then we're going to go off and do whatever else we do. And people started going, what's next? And I think for us, that was a huge turning point for a lot of things.
Yeah.
That Jesse and I, then we had to sit and go, okay, we've created this space. People are jumping in. People that work for big companies, small companies are jumping in and contributing and getting vulnerable and sharing. And now, like, we've done this, and like, we can't just go away, because like that doesn't help. That's not contributing to you know, to what we need to do. And so we sat and we talked and we created No BS with Jen and Jess 4.5 years ago. Let me be clear.
Yep.
4.5 years ago, Jesse and I sat at a kitchen table, and we just started talking about what could it be named, what would we talk about, what do we want to do, and we created it, you know, over Christmas break, I think, and then we launched it in January, and then we every other Saturday morning for 4.5 years, we just keep getting up and talking about things, and people keep showing up, Jesse.
Yeah. The awesome people.
I still have my job, and I still have my job. And you come and done stuff with my company and presented, and our people know you, our leaders know you, like, and like the world didn't blow up.
Yeah. Yeah. And folks, just so you know, when we first started, Jen was like, Jesse, I have a job, Jesse. I'm like, I know, I'll behave as much as I can. It was awesome. And I'm glad it's been fun watching the transition, but I think it's a good example, a good like anchor point that people can like visually see. You stepped out of like the norm and had to take on some risk. It could have been a disaster, but it's been pretty damn good. Maybe a little bit more than pretty damn good.
And I just one more point, and then I'll let you go, is anyone out there, and I say this to everyone, and even people say it to me, is anytime that there's something that you're not sure about. And for me, it was all of this that we're doing right now. And like 4.5 years ago, I said, okay, so actually it was 5, but 4.5 years ago, we started this platform, and every other Saturday morning, getting up here, doing it live, doing it unscripted, all the things, like what it has done for me and my career outside of this little space right here has been like amazing. And it's because of the reps of getting on here and doing this kind of conversation is now I can go and present, and I can be in rooms, and I can do things that I couldn't even have thought about. So yes, we get.
Yeah. Look, Milo, talk about vulnerable. Milo says, I play small when I let fear dominate my decisions. Oh, thank you, brother. Mm-hmm. You know, I have this rule. It's in Jesse land. When I'm making a decision, like when I think like, why am I'm doing this because I'm scared. There's this defiance in me that's like, bullshit, we're doing the opposite. We're gonna go do that because you're scared, which I don't recommend. But recognizing, that's massive, folks. So Milo dropped it. I'm curious to know what the rest of the Omniverse, the tribe out there, like, where are you playing small, right? Is it, and that's okay. That's just evidence that you're human. So Milo says, I play small when I let, keyword, let fear dominate my decisions. Laura saying, woo, woo. She said, hooray, almost 5 years. Yeah, for real. It does. It's gone by super, super fast. And Laura's been in the background. She's done some cool stuff and been a super support.
Yeah, she's done. And actually it was, just a recent conversation on like where growth and where like what's next happens is on the other side of that fear and that scary place. Like it's yes. And if you just go run towards the danger, like, again, being smart about it, but also like, okay, just take the step into it. And then instead of this big, massive chaos, you take a step and, there's the wall and I'm in front of it. Like it's one of those that our brain allows it to be this big, massive thing. And just one step into it, it just becomes something different than what our brain told us it would be.
Oh yeah. And like our brain is designed to do that, to protect us, right? Which also keeps us small. Oh, my brother, another leadership labber. Russell says, I play small when I talk more than I listen. Yeah. Oh, I like that so much, right? Like we dominate the conversation so that, and I'm not accusing you, Russell, but I know I've done this long time ago. I'd get like, I want to make sure that I'm the authority in the room, that I don't lose credibility, that everybody knows I'm in charge. So I do all the talking, which keeps me comfortable, but didn't help my team grow because I didn't give them any space to contribute, right? Like I
well,
love
it's
that.
interesting the way he says it, because I would say that comment of I play small when I talk more than I listen. There are probably people out there also that go, I'm playing small because I'm not talking. And so
Agreed.
I love that. And I think there's also people, because I know I've been in rooms where I'm like, who am I? Am I like, what authority do I have? What credibility do I have? Why would they listen to me for the longest time? Even though I had it all going on in my head, but I just I didn't want to sound stupid, or I didn't want them to go, who are you? You don't have a construction degree. Why would I all of that was in my head, and it kept me me playing small, because they have all of this and it's just me. And when I was able to reconcile that and start voicing it, all of a sudden they're listening to me for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jen, so my story, one of my many stories of me playing small, it was back when I was with TD, right? I was a foreman. I think I got promoted to superintendent, and I started doing I guess they would qualify as training. That's what they saw it as. But I was teaching my friends how I studied the budget, studied the estimate, and built my plans, and all the nerdy shit that I knew. And we would do it at the bar or after work on the week. Just they would ask questions like, "How do you do that?" Like, "Oh, like this. Let me show you." Anyways, fast forward, I was doing that for a while, and I decided, oh my God, I need to leave the company. Not because there was a bad come, but because I needed to do more. And I told my boss, I submitted my letter of resignation. I was going to go work for the school district for a 70% pay cut, but I was out of debt. So whatever, right? I was going to take a job with the school district doing helping people. Mm-hmm. My job as a superintendent, I couldn't help people. I just went to stupid meetings and fought and argued and had the same fights and arguments, budget schedule crap all the time. I was sick of it. And because that was my responsibility, I couldn't help my friends. So it's this is stupid. Anyways, the company said, wait a minute, Jess, we don't want you to leave. And he tried to offer me money. And I'm like, guys, they're going to pay me this. And they're like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, I need to do something that's meaningful, and I can't do it here. Not in this role. And so they came back and said, well, what if you become our full-time trainer? And I remember, I'm like, I'm not a trainer. I don't have any certifications. I don't have any qualifications. I can't do that. And I really in that moment knew it was no, never. And then luckily that one boss, he was like, Jesse, you've been doing it at the bars. You've been doing it after hours. I'm like, oh yeah, I have.
Now you get paid for it.
Oh. And I was like, man, I don't even know how to respond. I need to think about it. So they gave me time to think. And one of the things, and I think this is important for all the folks out there in the Omniverse, one of the things that made it I was able to see it in that moment or in that experience that really made it difficult for me to change the rules and stop playing small was my identity. I was a field guy. I was a superintendent. Field guy back then, this was mid 2015, 2010 timeframe. Superintendents and you didn't do office work. You were a field person. And so I had a problem with, I'm a field guy. I had this, in fact, another way to think about it is I had an identity that I had to let go of. I had an infatuation with the reputation that I had, that there was some feedback loops that I got a lot of, reinforcement from, that I also if I'm going to be a trainer, I'm going to be a house cat. I'm going to be a carpet dweller. I'm going to be one of those damn office people. I don't really that doesn't feel there was a lot of this kind of menudo of what the, I've got to change my identity. Anyways, fast forward a couple of days. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And they said, you've been doing it. Just outline the things that you've been teaching them, and we'll help come up with it, and you just do your, like, they were like, just stay and do that. I'm like, oh shit, okay, cool. And it was tough. Like, I stayed, and I'm glad I did, but there was a period of walking through the desert of like, I don't know if I can do it. I think I'm gonna fail. What if I suck? What if I and it ended up being super, super amazing. But the main key point I want to point out there, like, after I started doing it, I was like, man, I could have been doing this for a long time. And why didn't I? Which kind of ties to what you're saying. And this, I believe this is true for everybody. Your lived experience is extremely valuable. You have no idea how much knowledge you have that can amplify, rocket boost somebody else's path. Mm-hmm. It's easy for us to say, you're not all that, right? You're not, you just chill out. You're not that big a deal. That's exactly what I was telling myself. The truth is, though, your lived experience can bring tremendous value to other people. You just have to break that little rule of let the ones in charge handle all of that and contribute your experience, contribute to somebody else's path. And so, or another way to think about that is what's obvious to you is not obvious to everybody else, period. And so maybe a way to start kind of testing those boundaries and like play a little bigger is when you see a thing, you see an issue, you see a hazard, you have a question, I don't know, you have a different insight, share it, right? You don't have to jump up on the table and yell it out, but share it in the way, like the most comfortable way you can, except for it's got to be on the other side of your comfort line. What do you think, Jen? Is that a response?
I want to ask you a question, because I think and there was a comment about failure that I think feeds right into what you're saying, is that your, like, we call it your body of work, or your
yes.
experiences. So Jesse, where you got to now, just going to say where you are now, Jesse, was it like, were you just like, I'm going to do this thing and it's going to be amazing, and then you made the decision and then everything just went like exactly what I thought it needed to be? Is that how you got here?
Yeah, Jen, you already know I have my 6,000 year plan, and I've hit every milestone and I have like all my goals down to the second of the day that I'm going to accomplish them. And I've hit them 100% of the time. Oh, no. So this is the comment you're talking about. Nabil, yes. He says, I'm not saying yes to taking risks because I'm afraid of failure. So 2 points, and I'm going to come back to your question. I'm being silly, guys. Like, no, I don't freaking have a 6,000 year plan. He uses the word taking risks. I 100% agree. It is a matter of taking risk. But what is at risk? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna frame this another way to challenge people. A lot of times we will decide to do or not do a thing because of the cost, mm-hmm. right? How much money it's going to take. And that will help us real quickly say, no, I'm not going to do it. The ROI is not there, whatever, right? Or there's I may or may not, it's not worth it. But what we almost always ignore that we're also risking every day is our time and our energy, right? If you don't have money, the only thing you have to risk is time and energy. Mm-hmm. And I think of those in there's two separate things. Mm-hmm. Time is one thing, energy is another thing, money is another thing. There's resources, you risk them. And so if you start looking, maybe consider this, if you start looking at what's at risk and include your energy and or your time that you have been risking with dumb, boring people, you have been risking on things that bring no value to you or the people you care about, I think it'll help us change our perspective on like, oh shit, I do take a lot of risk. I just wasn't counting like the really important stuff. I was counting the easy stuff. And again, Nabil, I appreciate you being vulnerable and saying I am afraid of failure. Because it's not fun to fail. Now, my brain is twisted because now I'm like, I'm gonna fail. How can I set things up to minimize the negative impact of the failure? Because I know through a lot of reps is the answers that I'm seeking that help me feel good about the risk are on the other side of action. So it's like I get as much information as I can get, and I was like, oh, I still don't have enough information to guarantee the outcome I want, and I won't until I take the action. And then I do the damn thing, right? And I, figure it out. So I totally get being afraid of failure. For me, the thing that's been helpful is recognizing or accepting or deciding, right? Because a lot of this is just mindset and the rules that we've been playing by. I just decided that failure means something different to me. And I get a lot of shit for it. Like, Jesse, that's not failure. I'm like, okay, on your rules, but on my rules, like I'm playing by my rules, baby. Right here between these ears is Jesse land, and I get to write the rules.
Yeah.
And so back to your question, right? Did I have a 10-year plan and all the bullshit? Like, no. I just knew this was my plan for starting my business. I need to save up 18 months worth of cash to sustain my life so that I could quit my job, so that I could learn how to start a business. That was it. That was the plan. I don't have an MBA. I didn't write a business plan. And I mean, some really savvy business leaders out there that were my bosses and, mentors now were like, what the hell's, I remember I talked to one of my buddies, like, man, I always kind of knew you were going to go off on your own thing. You're that kind of person. You have that kind of energy. And he asked me, he's like, so what's your business development plan? And I said, what the hell's that? And I remember he's like, Jesse, like you quit, you had a cushy, awesome job with like high profile visibility and you quit. You don't even have a business that like, I don't even know what that is. Like, what does that mean? Like, how are you going to get business? Like, oh shit. Like, that's a really good question. And so my point is there were a lot of people, and to date, there's been a lot of people that have really good advice of how to go about building my business and doing the thing. But I don't follow that advice necessarily because it's for a particular set of situations, set of outcomes. And that's not the outcome I want. So I pick and choose the bits that I like that make sense and I plug them into my thing. And so to answer your question, like, no, I didn't know. What I did know is that when I decided to start my business or that I needed to start a business, I was in a situation where I had a really great job, amazing job. And about 2% of my time was spent doing things that were fulfilling to me. And it was a freaking awesome job. 98% of my time was filled checking boxes, right? Doing the job, which was great, but it didn't bring me fulfillment. And in that moment, I was like, okay, I can stay on the comfortable path and play by their rules and continue to push my agenda. And it's going to take me about 10 years, massive, massive organization, right? To spend 5% of my time doing these things. And I can piss and moan and complain about the culture and the leadership and blame them, right? I could blame them, or I could get real with myself and say, wait a minute, it's not practical or reasonable for me to expect somebody else to fund my dream, to somebody else to fund the life that I want. Why don't I like stop talking smack and step up and make it happen? Like that's what happened. And I did. And like, I don't know how it's working, but it's freaking work. I've been in business over 4 years now. Not following all the rules because I recognize those are like, that's not what I want to design. That's not the outcome I want to have. And so has there been risk? Yes. Has there been losses? Yes. Have I failed, Nabil? Chingos of times. And guess what? Like, awesome. I got new data. I got new intel that's real that I experienced, not read or heard, that I can now take forward and apply to myself and also share and contribute it to others.
Okay. Thank you for that. That's awesome. So I want to, you just summarized a lot of things. The way that it translates in my head is, and you let me know unless maybe you experience it different than me. Jesse, when I fail, I have an opportunity to learn and make adjustments and do and continue to change or adjust. When I have a regret, and maybe it's just me, how often I've been able to go backwards in time and undo something or make a decision that then changes my outcome. For me, I've never been able to go undo something or go back in time and change a decision. And so for me, regret, there's nothing that I can do in that moment to go back and undo something. Where failure, even if it's like a disaster, then I have a moment that I'm still making some kind of momentum or some step to go, this is what just happened. Here's what I'm going to adjust. Here's what I'm going to change. And then I get to do something else that is going to move me closer to what I want. So for me, it's the regret versus failure. Which one am I willing to live in? So that's how I framed everything you just said.
Powerful, Jen. Powerful. Yes. You can't do anything about regret, right? And so, yes, I'm gonna leave it up there. Like, if you're gonna live with regret, you're always gonna wonder.
Yes,
I'd rather know.
Yes,
right. Like, I know. I don't have to wonder. Like, all right, Nabil says yes. Awesome, brother. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. No. Regret is, in fact, for me, that's a path to fast forwarding the end of my life. Like, regret just eats me up. It's not good. All right, so we got 4 minutes till we do the randomizer. So, folks, drop your comments, drop your emojis. I want to shout out some rascals that just popped in here. Jeremy Blair says, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Good morning, Jeremy.
Brother Mike Chili Childs. What's up, Mike? How you doing, my brother? And then we got, let's see, we got a couple of points. Where is it? Oh, if y'all want information on the Build Fort Worth thing, Hades dropped the link in the chat, so check that out. And if you get to meet her, take a selfie, even though I'm not going to be in it. That's okay. So Milo says, in my opinion, it's not that one needs to change one's identity, but rather become aware of one's dignity. And acting upon that self-awareness. Easier said than done. Oh, man, we got some deep stuff. Milo agreed. So I'm going to say that what it's making me think is this. There have been many times in my life where I've played small, where I kind of didn't say what I should have said, what I wanted to say, where I didn't take the action that I wanted to take. And every one of, like, now I recognize those decisions as self-betrayal, which is the cousin to regret, right? Like, I can't go back and say that thing or change that thing. And so for me, I don't know if everybody else has this. There are times and situations where there's stuff happening. I'm like, man, whatever. I'm just like, it's fine. It's handled. The thing has been said. Not a big deal. I don't need to say anything. But then there's times where it's like, I could feel it in me. I have to say the thing. Like, I could feel it in my gut. Like, right here, I feel like energy, pressure, whatever. I don't know what the hell it is. I'm like, and now I recognize, like, oh, okay, I need to say the thing. Like, I can't like not say it. And so I say the thing. Does it impact or change the thing? I don't know necessarily, except that I don't betray myself. Because in the past, when I do get that feeling, that compulsion to contribute and didn't, it ate at me forever and ever. And so for me, that's my version of what Milo said, right? It's becoming aware of your own dignity and acting upon it. Right? Like, the opposite of that is self-betrayal. And like I said earlier, is directly related to that regret thing. What do you think, Jen?
Well, I mean, I was thinking about when you said that feeling you get, like, I literally could just, like, my brain put me back in that moment where you're taking that breath. It's almost like, for me, it's you're at the water park and it's that big slide that like is about to drop you like that. I can put myself in that spot and feel that I'm about to go over this hill, and I pray that that nothing happens. But when I am experiencing that, whether walking on stage, whether about to go into a very hard conversation or going in to present something to someone and have no idea, when I can like take that breath and like, okay, get centered, like I'm going to say every time, and I don't say that because nothing happened every time. It wasn't as bad as I expected. And what happened after was so like enormous for for my path and what it was. And it was, again, what I thought it was going to be. Just being able to take a breath and do it, and then like be scared and be sweaty and be like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. Every time it, like when I got out, either the conversation went the direction that I hoped it would, or even if it didn't, I learned and got some insight that I didn't have. And then it allowed me to make some adjustments. But every time I did it, like I didn't look back and regret, man, I shouldn't have done that. There's not been a time, like even if it was a hard conversation and they said something that I was like, oh, that's stinky, I didn't like that. But okay, now I know. And so it's like, it's doing that. And it's like, I feel it right now in my chest, like when I had to like take that breath, because like you're just coming up for air or something like that. But it's just like your body is, anytime I feel that, I'm like, oh, my body's trying to tell me like you're about to do something big, and then what am I going to do? And so anyway, that I just wanted to describe that because I just felt it as you were talking.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And I'm going to hit again on what you said. So many times where that thing happened and I'm like, okay, I got to say it. Somebody in the room, like in groups or big things, comes and has told me like, Jess, that thing that you said is like what I needed to hear. I was stuck. Like, I'm gonna just like, it drove them, helped them make a decision. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, that's why I had to say it. Because it impacted somebody else's life in a real serious, meaningful way. And other times it was like, man, I'm glad you said that because the boss has been an ass and no one has said anything. So I'm glad you said it because it needed to be said. And it kind of started some balls rolling. But to your point, Jen, like the outcome on the other end of it is massive, like crazy. Not doing it is torture. I mean, that's
and when you choose not to do it, like you don't know. So like by just making the choice to do it, like I couldn't go, oh, I'm going to impact that lady in the back corner that's sitting at the table. that like, I mean, like there's been times where I've made a decision on how I'm going to do an intro. And you and I've talked about it. Like it's normally I'm doing it. Here's my role, and here's what I've done, and here's my experience. Or hey, I'm a mom, and I have this, and I have like the way that I intro. Sometimes I change it and I do it, and I'm like, this is scary because I'm a professional and I'm in front of a room of people, and they're just going to be like, what do we care about her kids and her brothers and her dad? Like there's things that it's scary. But I did it, and then I went through, and the lady in the back in the corner was just like stood up and goes, I don't have a question. But I just want to thank you because I'm here and I have a kid at home and like they have dyslexia. I mean, they just started opening up because I said something that like somebody else wouldn't have said. And it's those times where I'm like, how am I going to know that person needed to hear it unless I just say it?
Yeah, no, it's back to Milo's point, right? Honoring yourself. I think start by like pushing away through the rules that they made is a way of me honoring myself. Now, I'll also add when I was a teenager, maybe 20s and 30s, I wasn't honoring myself very well, but I eventually figured it out. And I also want to point out, folks, like if you're feeling attacked or triggered, it's natural, right? It's not because we're less than. We just have a lot. We come up with being conditioned by our parents, the people at school, the teachers, authority, So it is a lot of friction to break through. So I'm going to post the next question, and then we're going to do the randomizer. Okay. So here's the next question for everybody out there in the Omniverse. The question is this, And Jen, you get some extra time to think about your answer for this one. What is one piece of advice you grew up believing that you now question? So folks out there, drop your answer, your response in the comments. And you know what? I'm going to be extra nice to everybody. You can be judgy. What is some advice somebody you know grew up believing that's not serving them? You can like disassociate yourself from the reality of the question here. We'll come back to that question after we do the randomizer. We got 14 entries, Jen. 14 in the randomizer.
Come on.
Let's see who we got. The giveaway tool.
I have a name in my head of who I want to win. Let's see what happens.
Oh, you're going to manifest it. I like it. All right, here we go. And I just like how it flashes everybody's face.
I know, right?
Super cool. We're going to redo that one. We keep that fool out for talking shit. We'll do it again, y'all. Hang on, I can't find my mouse. There it is. All right, one more time. Oh, who's it gonna be? Daddy Hoots. Is that who you were voting for?
No, not at all.
And he planned it, right? He jumped from YouTube to LinkedIn.
He did do it on purpose. He tried to rig the system.
He did. And he is already, Adam, you already know you're a frequent flyer there. So you got a free pass that you can share with somebody to come to the emotional bungee jumpers and look, Haiti said, pick me.
That's okay, because I also have a free invite because I win my challenge every time. So
don't forget, we have a challenge due coming up pretty soon.
Yes, yeah, so I can share that with Haiti. I can share mine with Haiti.
Yes. And folks, if you don't know what we're talking about, every month we have a field assignment. And so all the jumpers, they go do the assignment. And if you do that and share it, we have a little point system. The top 6 people get a free pass to bring people to the next month. So anyways, that's what we're talking about, which is kind of strange for y'all. But what's your answer to this, Jen? What's one piece of advice?
I have 2, and they're kind of weird because they've evolved. So the first one was that, bring it up again, Jesse, because I want to make sure I'm saying it in the right way. So
got it.
Advice you grew up believing that you now question, and the advice is not so much advice; it's that you're too much.
Ooh.
And so it's not advice, but it's like what was programmed in, like, to play small. You're a lot for someone to deal with. You're a lot, it's a lot to take. So you need to settle down a little bit, like just that piece, because it kind of disrupted some things, or it was my ideas or my whatever. It is like, Jennifer, you're just a lot.
Yeah.
You're too much for this, whatever. And it dictated a lot of how I showed up. And it was weird how it morphed, because, and this is why I have another answer, is the other part of it was I needed to be vocal to be validated. I needed to say, I needed to contribute. I needed to like they needed to hear my voice in a room to validate that there was a reason I was there, but that I had value and that I could contribute. And so it was that idea of being too much, then, but also reconciling it with, but I need to contribute to show value. And so the growth for me and the morphing of that is, and you know the story, is that now my goal when I walk into rooms and sit in meetings is to not say a word. And they need me and they need something from me, then they address me and they ask me, and everybody's listening.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, I love it.
So that's, I mean, it kind of, it answers it, but it doesn't, but it kind of shows the morphing of the growth that happened because of the misconstrued idea of something, but also all the things that I've been able to figure out.
Yeah, no, I love it because I mean, it's a beautiful example of some of the conditioning, training, things that happen that shape us end up producing maladjusted behavior.
Yes.
Right. Like they said, you're too loud, you're too loud, you're too big, you're too much, whatever that was. That didn't feel good. So it's like, okay, I need to be smaller. But then it creates this weird situation where it's like, well, I need to be heard to feel, I need to make mouth noise to feel heard, which is not the same as contributing.
Right. Yeah.
And then you got to like filter through that whole thing. And I think there's a lot of stuff, right, that people deal with. I know for me, the advice, the conditioning, whatever it was that I grew up believing was the respect your elders, respect authority. Now, I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, but I had blind respect for my elders and authority. And as a little guy, there were so many things that happened that it was clear that that my elders and the people in authority, they don't all deserve respect. They did some wicked things to a lot of people, and I kept seeing it over and over and over. And early on, again, this was another one of those things that happened when I was very young. Like I just did not like. You are my if you were in a position of authority, you were a suspect. In my, I've been able to manage that a little bit better now. It's not as pronounced as it used to be. But that advice didn't serve me well, right? It exposed me. It hurt my friends. It hurt people that I care about. It hurt me just because that was what you were supposed to do. Respect authority, respect your elders. And they were doing some really shitty, ugly things. And I got to break myself away from that. Similar to kind of what you're talking about. I think there's these things that we come up. I read it somewhere. My mom taught me a set of rules that work really well in an ideal world. They didn't work so well in the real world, right? Like It was be polite, share, be giving, all of these things, which worked good because it kept me out of trouble with mom. But as I got further and further away from mom, it became a situation of like, oh, wait a minute, people ain't playing by these rules. And I'm getting run over. I'm getting taken advantage of because I'm playing nice. And so I had to, I ended up having to make a decision like, I ain't playing nice no more. And we got 2 comments here. Mr. Milo says, I grew up in a world of scarcity. Yep. And thinking there's only so much goodness out there. I'm now realizing that it is by giving away that one gets, oh my God. Yeah. Damn. Yes. Collecting and compiling crap is not as fulfilling as giving stuff away. And by stuff, I mean your gifts and talents. And looky, Mr. Ian Smith, what's up, man?
That one, Ian, thank you so much. But 2, that one, Jesse, like that's real.
Like, well, how do you mean?
I mean, just like that's not, that's not your lane. That's not in how the way I see this in people when they've been conditioned. That's above my pay. That's above my pay grade. Like that's a default from people that whether they're not willing to ruffle feathers, they're not willing to say something that maybe they think or they feel, but like there's people in the room that they're like not going to offend, and it falls in that line when people go, that's above my pay grade. Like if that's where you live, then you are already in this hierarchy of these rules that other people wrote.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree that stay in your lane. And I know Ian, he ain't staying in his lane. And good, he's helping, right? Like sure, it's outside of my purview, but that don't make it right. And
Right.
I'm not okay with it. So I'm not going to stay in my lane. You're going to be
Right.
mad. And again, I'll say this maybe in summary, right? Like when we share our thinking and I decide to play by different rules, I can have a greater impact. And I am prepared for the consequences, right? I want to be super, super clear. Ian knows this. By going outside of your lane because you're compelled to, there's going to be some value there. You're contributing, right? Because I know Ian, he's one of those dudes. And there's going to be consequences.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to be prepared for them. Or you can stay in your lane and keep living with frustration and regret and keep betraying yourself, which will keep you playing small forever and ever. Like Jeremy says, you got to call things out.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can, some people can't. My suggestion is, folks, do it just a little bit, just one more time than normal this week, and then do it again next week.
Yes.
And you'll start seeing like, oh, it's not that bad. All right. So we're not having an after party today. Jen, you got any closing thoughts or wisdom for the crew?
No, but I've got some ideas already for our next live stream. So that'll be coming out soon. But again, I just want to double down on when you are scared of failure, then you have no idea what could have happened.
Yeah.
And so like, just think about it, like just taking a step into it, a little step, a tiny step, whatever it is, like, and then see what happens. Because sometimes, it's not as perfect or great, but also you learn from that. And then you're able to continue to move forward with it instead of sitting there and stuck. And then you're like looking back going, oh, I mean, maybe I could have done that. And then where would I be now? Like those are places that you get to choose.
Agreed. And this is for the person that's out there that's thinking, well, yeah, it's easy for you to say Jess and Jen, like y'all are super fancy and whatever. Like all it takes is you to shift your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is for you to decide to shift your beliefs. And you have done it before. I know people out there used to believe in Santa Claus. Do you still believe in Santa Claus? You used to believe in the damn tooth fairy. Do you still believe in the tooth fairy? You can change your beliefs. That is evidence that you can choose your belief system. So start choosing, man. All right, Jen, you got the
closing
walk-off
deals.
music?